Well, we want you to find a question or issue that you care about and kind of pursue that. What came to mind when we said that?
I was actually thinking, what do I care about?
School is over, fortunately, but we want to get to know you as people and who you are. What's important for us to know about you?
I'm a little shy at first, but then once I get to know y'all, I won't be so shy.
I'm a really hard worker.
I tend to overthink a lot.
Sometimes I feel like teaching is really stressful because there's just so much scrutiny, from the outside about like what to do.
I can get really competitive sometimes in school.
I definitely feel alone in my teaching. I feel like sometimes I'm on my little island and I think I need like more support from other teachers.
One of the things that I've been reminded of, again this summer, is because of the face-to-face, because of the getting to know young people and teachers in the room, there is, in fact, a lot more student-centered work happening.
I like poetry, but I never thought of it like as spoken word form, right?
I was diagnosed with diabetes April 2010. I don't know the exact date, but I know it's April 2010. I now have diabetes for like 3 years now.
Like when you leave here, do you go to work? You do. And you work till 11? Again?
10.
Till 10.
The Hindu religion too is the same. It's about culture, respecting. You have to respect your elders. So you saw when we RT, we had to bow down. Yeah.
My dad, he never went to see me when I was born. So actually I don't have his last name. I only have my mom's last name and a middle name. And after that, when I turned 4 years old, he left. And he was sent to Yale because he used to hit my mom.
But it impacted my life and my school life because before I had diabetes, I was always in school.
Texas, Houston, July 4th. It was 4 years now. It's been 4 years. Yeah. Everything is so big over there, and then you move here and everything is so small. Yeah, my room is the size of the bathroom that was I used to live.
I think I wrote it in my application. My little brother was born with tracheoesophagus fistula. And since his father left young, I had to take the responsibility of taking care of him when my mother couldn't.
Actually, I used to get bullied in 6th grade, and then I stayed in the same school. But I went to school every day, but I didn't do my work. I used to get into much fighting and stuff. And after that, I used to argue with teachers and stuff.
I'm trying to find something that I'm looking for because I wanted to be a doctor, then I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be so many things so far.
Youth Voices is a website that is a social network that we've been building in different ways over the past 10 years. On the site, students publish their own work, their digital work, and they learn how to respond to each other and we learned from all of that. We know that there are many, many processes in learning to read and learning to do research, in taking texts apart, in the writing of something significant and important. How do you go from interest to deeper learning? Yes, there's a curriculum about the processes kids should do, but is there a content that they should do? Interest-based learning is so important in itself, and medieval times and Greek civilization and or whatever global history or whatever science curriculum or curriculum itself is also important. And so what happens when those things bump up against each other? And so those are the kinds of issues that we thought we could explore together in the summertime. But what we know in the writing project is that starting with yourself is really, really important.
Was the book amazing?
They start with breakfast.
They start with breakfast.
Really important. Not a small matter, you know.
Much about community schools.
And if we had to put it on a list somewhere, it would be on the list of community building activities.
And we have this moment.
Survival is my thing.
Survival.
And what we call that is open time, where you explore your own thing and really saying, do whatever you want to. Obviously, you're in a somewhat of an academic setting, but really, what would you do on this computer on your own time? And it takes a lot of trust to do that, but it's something I think we actually learned in the writing project. Again, we begin the Summer Institute with open free writing, and sometimes we begin courses with teacher talk and stuff. So that moment of just exploring your own thing. You're excited.
I can only read one line.
Or you can read the whole thing if you want to.
Just read one line.
Loudly.
Is it wrong to dream? Can I not dream what I want to dream? Is my mind not mine to control?
Sure, that may sound a little self-centered, but who are you to deny me of my awesomeness? And if so, who gave you the authority to judge me in such a manner?
And sometimes, like, I feel that tests and all of those make me feel dumb because I don't get the score I want.
Ever since my baby sister was born, I've noticed that I felt older, as though I've aged really fast. And all I can think about is the fact that when she graduates high school, I will be 35. This gap in between leaves me to want to create as many memories as possible for her to remember. I want not only to create memories, but I also want to make her proud of me. I've also noticed that so many events take place, so I'd like to think that I still have time in this world to bring change. One dream I am making true is helping Syrian refugees in bordering countries. These people have lost everything, yet they're optimistic. They're optimistic when they've lost their families. They're optimistic when their country's shattered. They're optimistic when they don't have food or clothing. They keep living. I want to do that. I want to be happy even with the slightest thing I have.
I can't say that I really feel restricted by my administrators. I think that they trust me to do things as I see fit. But sometimes I think that the issue is the how.
Like, what are the words, like, in Google, if you were going to search for that question, you'd be able to find that question. Okay, we'll get back to that, okay? Okay, so you may notice that we just gave you 3 assignments. So you're going to write 3 paragraphs about yourself. You're going to make an avatar or icon. It can't be your likeness. It can't be a picture of you. 10 questions, real questions. Your neighborhood, your past, your future, your family. Deep questions, questions that you have about yourself. Then 10 questions about the world. Could be religion, politics. Big questions.
Do I have friends that are trustworthy?
What does the modern man think about the modern woman?
Are we actually being heard in society or ignored?
What will I be? What will my profession be?
Why is bullying such a big issue?
Like their surroundings that they live in. How does that affect their decisions, and that will affect the way they live their life?
Why am I quiet when I should be loud?
Who invented language?
Why will the government in Egypt stop murdering its people?
Do I still believe that there's such thing as bad people?
What kind of person do my friends portray me as?
When I had a chance to help my brother, why didn't I?
What is my identity?
How much longer will the indigenous people of Latin America continue to suffer because of their own wealth?
Doing the 10 self-10 world questions, and then what we follow that with is coming up with 5 keywords for each question, and so that begins to give categories. It gives categories to the questions.
My keyword, I put voices in society.
I put helping.
Reincarnation.
What's your topic?
Well, the question was, how much longer will the indigenous people of Latin America continue to suffer because of their own wealth?
Yeah. Did you try indigenous people?
How do we just teach them to like love learning?
I would probably start with the 10 world questions, because that probably gets them thinking about, the world and like probably how our history has formed these questions for them or helped them think about these questions.
Reek was the student who I originally saw her researching about Egypt, because that's where her family.
So Reek, say your question again.
Mine was, when will the government in Egypt stop murdering its people?
But then when this whole story about Trayvon Martin and the not guilty verdict came out, then she became interested in that.
You set Zimmerman free. What now? Well, what happens to the rest of that? That just makes it to say that it's okay to shoot anybody that you think is suspicious. Might as well shoot me, because I have a scarf on, I might be a terrorist, might as well shoot anyone else, you know what I mean? So if you set this guy free, you allow society to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? There's gotta be limits, there's gotta be things, you know what I mean? That's just what I think.
What I guess concerns me though, although I love the fact that she's studying something and she's learning something great about our process as a country and what we go through and how we find these things out, is that going to get her the skills that she's going to need?
How many of you have done free writing to make something? In other words, free writing, and then you did a focus sentence, and then you did more free writing and more free writing. After you do the free writing, we're going to ask you to do a focus sentence. And a focus sentence is totally the opposite of free writing. Free writing, you go wild, you follow tangents, you allow yourself to go anywhere you want to when you're writing. You'll start with your questions, your 2 or 3 questions, and you'll write as fast as you can. Not as fast, but non-stop. It doesn't have to be fast, but you shouldn't stop.
Maury was describing the beginnings of the research process and how free writes were used to inspire further examination and helped him actually get to a more focused topic. And then you talked about subtopics.
Yes. Like how your topic can lead to a subtopic, and then that subtopic you do research on will then lead to another, which was the process to get you to think, to get you to research more, to get you to learn more and more about your subject.
From the 10 self and 10 world questions, students develop
a triad of questions, 3 questions.
We then had them look at the questions and see if they could chunk them into groups.
Then we want to deepen your inquiry. And there are two choices here. One is to find a video or a podcast, audio, about your topic. Can you talk a little more about the video you annotated?
It was a speech about Trayvon Martin that Obama gave.
I actually wanted to come out today is not to take questions, but to speak to an issue that obviously has gotten a lot of attention over the course of the last week, the issue of the Trayvon Martin ruling.
How is it different annotating that, right, in Popcorn, or just watching a video?
I mean, annotating.
You watched it the first time?
Yeah, I watched it the first time, but like, I feel like once I got to annotate it, I like fully understood it even more because I had to like, you know, stop it, hear it again, and then annotate it. And then like make sure like the annotation goes with like the part of the video that I annotated, and I just feel like I fully understood it that way.
The other deeper way to go is we want you to think about finding more difficult texts. The way schools talk about this now is text complexity. So we want you to find a more complex text about your topic, okay?
So the last thing I wanted to ask you about this whole process is how does this differ? Maybe it doesn't, but what do you notice about this process and maybe the process that you use at school to write an essay?
At school, well, at my school, we read books and then we write about a literary element about the book, what literary element we see that was processed in the book or used in the book, so we write about that. We learned more about technology. Like, he taught us how to go on other websites and put them into youth voices. For example, with the Crocodoc, it's already in youth voices, right. But we learned how to do online annotation and finding videos, like here. I found a video on YouTube and I'm annotating it right here.
We want everybody to know that that's our goal. Your question is 3 to 5 pupils.
So my question was, who invented language? And I found this article about baby language. And basically it was about this student, I guess, that was interested in like how babies communicated and like how did they first like learn their own type of language.
We're not gonna have time to do everything.
I'm gonna read a paragraph. And I found an article related to what happened.
So you might wonder, how can I improve my decision making?
My question was, will I ever travel? And I found an article that you can learn a lot from traveling and that it can change your personal thoughts and opinions.
Well, in the process of my research, I learned a lot on how to improve decision makings. To begin with, our morals and ethical values have a huge influence on our decisions.
We've learned, again, through the writing project, the real value of writing groups. And we value that, and we have had writing groups and they do share. There's something that can happen that goes even beyond writing groups, I think, more than you can say.
There are many ways that people are interacting with each other.
We ask them to write really extensive comments on each other's writing.
Dear Reed, you are amazing. Have you ever considered being a rapper? You would make a good rapper. I like rap, and I give you props for memorizing your poem. Heck, I forgot my age a few days ago. I know, so stupid. The line, don't feel bad for the ones with a broken heart, feel bad for the ones who gave up, confuses me. Every day someone gets hurt, I get hurt. But feel bad for the ones who gave up love? My favorite song of all time is Breathe Me by Sia.
Dear Eva, I'm surprised by your post about cursing feeling good because just like you said, some people view cursing as being ghetto or showing that you are not professional because no boss would want their employees to curse in a professional setting. And here you are defending a spicy seasoning of words. One sentence you wrote that stands out to me is what matters to me isn't whether the words chosen are taboo or not, so much as whether they are said in order to demean or downgrade. It's the absence of malice that counts, not the absence of some random book of slang. This is a powerful statement because you make a clear distinction between cursing to make yourself feel good and cursing to hurt others. Words can hurt, and you acknowledge that cursing to hurt another person is still not okay.
When we started the program, we had an intake interview. We talked to you about your interest and all of that, right? And that was really interesting. We got to know you briefly then. And we've now had 3 weeks of work with you, and it's been amazing to have those 3 weeks. You guys are just phenomenal. What's one thing you want to remember from the program?
The questions.
Say more.
Well, it helped me like really reflect who I am and how I look at the world. So it was nice to take those questions and do research about them and to see them in a different way.
It was yesterday's experience with the cameras in the studio. Yes. I don't know, it was like something I've never done before, and it was pretty awesome.
I feel like the free write, the one that you told us about, work 10 minutes and then state another question or a claim, I feel like that made a huge difference in my question, because my question was all, does cursing feel good? And then like it kind of changed like what exactly is the meaning of cursing and the history behind it and stuff.
One thing I want to remember is the workshop we did on the badges and like how we created them and like the various meanings they have.
How was your experience this summer different for you as a learner than it is for you in school?
I've met more people who are more diverse even though we're at the same age, and I learned different cultures and different writing techniques. Because I don't like my writing technique, it's different from like Ari's or like Mario's who write like poetry kind of, and I'm not used to that, but I liked it. Here you're free, you write freely, and then it's sort of like a free write also when you're writing, because you just let go whatever is going through your mind, and you just let yourself free.
This experience is different than in school because like we did most of our work in the computer, and in school we do most of our work on paper, and we annotate on paper, and and when we annotated here, we did it on computer.
I thought the biggest difference was that here we were just given all this time and to work at our pace, where I feel like in school there's like we're just so limited in time.
They're asking questions, and like you normally you see your teachers teaching you, not asking the questions. Others like you're asking them the questions and they're second guessing your question.
I was just gonna say that it's really empowering to not have to be the teacher and you are the student.
If there was a student here this summer that you wanted to thank for something, what student would you want to thank and why?
I would thank Kumari because he actually commented on my work I did, my poem, and actually he understands me.
Well, I think I remember Eva the most because
she like we didn't really talk in the beginning at all, but she's always seeming to like question everything in the back of her mind, and you know she can be random at times, but they really start some interesting conversations because she thinks of things I would never ever think about.
Ari, because well, in her writing she shows a lot of emotion, and the words that she uses, like they all flow in her poem, and it's really inspiring.
Especially want to thank Jackie and Alondra because they became my good friends in this program, and like I never even met them, and we just became like close friends.
That's
and,
nice.
Like we shared like our music and the things we like, the things we agree on, the things we disagree on.
How important do you think the physical stuff is? Some people suggest that we could have done this course online. Do you think that's true?
Funny because like I feel connected, so like I would still want to know you guys and like know more about you guys than just like knowing you guys for like 3 weeks, forget about you, I don't know you no more, you know?
Because you're here now, like I need some help with some technology, and I know that you know it. I might say, Alondra, can you hang out with me and show me how to do this?
So,
and we'll
because
take care
of the
of it.
face-to-face,
yes,
the online works.
How can we as teenagers control our internet usage? Reading one website will raise so many questions, then we will find ourselves clicking on links.
I wash cars, clean shoes, sniff glue, and play soccer. I steal wallets, but I'm a nice person. I'm a smile without teeth, rain without a roof, nails with dirt. I'm what's left of the war.
Like, if you had to create your own government, like really fast, how would you do it, and what would it stand for, and who would be in control of that government?
The question was, when I had the chance to help my brother, why didn't I? And I found an article related to what happened. He expected me to forget him for leaving us. I still remember those words that you repeated.
So it's a blend of both the online experience and the face-to-face experience.
And we wish we had many, many more days to do this.